Hi friends, it's Mrs. Perez with a new book. Hey, do you know the four seasons? Let's see if we can name them together. Let's start with the hottest season. What is that? Summer, and then the air gets a little crisp and the leaves change colors and they start to fall from the trees. What season is that? Fall, or you could call it autumn. And how about when it gets really cold and sometimes it snows in some places? That's winter. And then it starts to warm up again. What season is that? Spring. So you have summer and fall and winter and spring. And this book right here is about the changes that you might see in the springtime. So be thinking about that as I read the book, and we'll talk about it a little later. Spring Changes by Ellen B. Sinisi. Spring Changes. Spring Changes by Ellen B. Sinisi. Hey, look on those branches. Do you see those little blossoms? Little pink blossoms. What's one of the first signs of spring? Pussy willows. You know spring is coming when you see their soft gray buds pop out into the chilly air. You see that stick? There's a little fuzzy round gray ball. That's a pussy willow. The weather is still cold from winter. The sun is slowly warming up the earth. Except for evergreens, those are like Christmas trees, right? Except for evergreens, other trees and plants are still bare and brown. So you can see they haven't grown new leaves yet. And daylight lasts longer and longer. So in the wintertime, when it was cold, it started to get dark around dinner time. But now that it's springtime, the sun stays out a lot longer, doesn't it? The days are longer. The weather keeps changing. It can be snowy or rainy or windy or sunny, or maybe even all in the same day. The snow melts. Rain falls. There is mud and dirt everywhere. See how muddy? A lot of places it rains a lot in the springtime. Water and sunlight help roots and seeds grow into plants. The new plants will grow right through the dirt and into the open air. Like magic, plants change and grow. And some plants have flowers on them. Leaf buds push their way out of woody branches. The buds unfold slowly into bright green leaves on trees and bushes. And right now, if you go on a walk with your parents, you can probably see some buds growing on trees and the bushes. They're new baby leaves. Yeah. More buds form as flowers to get ready to open up and bloom. Some flowers bloom early in spring. You see, there's still snow in the ground. And others bloom later in the spring. These are pretty flowers. Soon spring air is warm and inviting, and many flowers open wide to the rain and sun. So those flowers bloom. Look at the garden. Lots and lots of pretty flowers in the garden. In spring, warm weather means that we don't need our coats or boots. People plant gardens in the spring. It's exciting to watch plants grow, especially ones that you will be able to eat later. Oh, that's right. You could plant a flower garden or even a vegetable garden. There's a feeling of excitement in the warm, sunny air. Outside is the only place you want to be. Oh, yes. It's not too cold out and it's not too hot. It's just right to be outside in the springtime. Look around. Living creatures are suddenly everywhere. Some wake up after sleeping through the cold winter. Others come alive for the first time in the spring. Many come back after going south for the winter. So you see lots of animals in the springtime. Oh, and many baby animals are born in the spring. They want to run and play like people do. Look at the little calf. He was born in the spring. And then what's the baby sheep called? A lamb. Yes, many baby animals are born in the spring. People celebrate spring holidays. There's Mother's Day, and some families celebrate Passover or Easter. But most of all, people welcome new life and sunny warmth in spring. Look how green that grass is, too. Look around and see. Spring changes are everywhere. Soon, with barely a whisper, spring slips into summer. Well, I like the springtime. It's the perfect kind of weather for me. All right, I'm going to get my whiteboard and we're going to brainstorm and think of some things that are changing in the springtime. So be thinking about the book that we just read while I get my whiteboard. All right, and let me prop it up. And let me move this. How about I move this over? Okay, I think that will work. You can kind of see my circle. Well, it's kind of a circle. I had a little trouble drawing that circle. Looks more like an oval. Well, I was going to make a circle map with you. Maybe it's an oval map. All right, so we're going to think about things that happen in the spring. So in the center of my circle, let me just draw another circle and write the word spring. Spring. Okay. So think back in the book. What are some of the things that you see changing when it becomes springtime? What do you notice on the leaves? Or excuse me, what do you notice on the trees? What do you see? Yeah, you see some buds. You see buds on the trees. So I'm just going to write buds. And then some of those buds will unfold into what? New leaves. Here, I'll write new leaves. So we'll see new leaves on the trees and on the bushes. Some buds on plants will open up and bloom into beautiful, what? Flowers. Yeah, let me write flowers. Flowers. So, in the springtime, we see buds and flowers and new leaves. What else changes in the spring? What about the weather? Is it super cold in the spring? No, not usually. It starts to warm up. So maybe we could write that it's warm. It's warm in the spring. So warm. And sometimes it's muddy outside. What causes all that mud? Yeah, it rains a lot, doesn't it? In some places, it rains a lot in the spring. You write the word rain. I'll put rainy because it's rainy in the spring. What else? Well, maybe we should write muddy because when it rains and when the snow melts, oops, it makes it muddy, doesn't it? So muddy. What else do you notice in the springtime? Yeah, the plants grow. We should say plants. Plants grow. Plants grow in the spring. What else can you grow? You can grow plants and flowers. You could plant a garden. We should write garden. You can definitely plant a garden in the spring. A flower garden or a vegetable garden. Who might come and visit your garden? They buzz around, drink nectar, gather pollen. Yeah, insects. There are lots of bugs that come out in the springtime. You'll probably start to see more ladybugs and more butterflies in the springtime. So I'll write insects because ladybugs and butterflies butterflies, dragonflies, all kinds of bugs, insects come out in the springtime. And not just insects either. Lots of baby what? Animals, yeah. Lots of baby animals are born in the springtime. So we write baby animals. Wow, we really filled in this bubble, huh? This circle map has a lot of things that we see in the spring. So let me just go through, and I know I wrote them all different ways, so I'll just try to make sure I remember and point to each of them. So in the spring, it's usually warm and rainy, and buds grow on trees and plants, and flowers bloom, and there's new leaves in the springtime. Those new little leaves will unfold on the trees. Plants will grow. Let's see, you can grow a garden. The insects will start buzzing around. Baby animals are born in the spring. And then, did we talk about muddy? Because a lot of the rain and the snow melting will make a lot of mud. Is there anything else that you can think of that happens in the springtime? Oh, I know. There's a holiday coming up with a little bunny. Yeah, it's Easter. So Easter is a holiday that many people celebrate in the springtime. I think that we've filled up our circle map. How about that? With lots of things about spring. Thanks so much for joining me and reading the book Spring Changes. Now, when you're out on your walks with your parents, you should look around and see all those changes that we read about. You might even be able to think of some more changes for spring, okay? And tell your family all about the springtime and what you know. I'll see you soon, kiddos. Bye.